Good evening, folks. Zach Cross here. So, the other day I got a little upset with the cops towing my vehicle, and I think it deserves a little bit more of a reasoning behind it, you know. So basically, I'd lived here about 2 weeks before they towed my car, which, I'd pumped like 3 or 4 grand over the last 2 years into it, trying to get it smog ready and maybe more. And you know how it is. You're like, well, I'll just get rid of it. My other car's in the shop, so I was driving around as long as I could. Well, so I'm sitting here in Marysville, and I get to see homeless go to the bathroom on my porch and try to break into my gate and my home and my neighbors and all this stuff. And, I start educating them a little bit on the difference between public property and private property and how that works. And this is after 3 or 4 years of hearing how the cops sit at the station and don't do much and basically, say they can't do nothing about the homeless even when they're breaking into citizens' homes and different stuff. Now, I have heard while meeting more neighbors, there is a good cop on Marysville PD. I guess he's some kind of sergeant and lives here locally, which is part of the problem. A lot of our government workers making those six-figure salaries, or they're about close to it, they move to nicer places like Lincoln or way out in Yuba City where it's, larger parcels and, away from where they work. So anyway, back on track here. Been having a lot of homeless problems and a lot of other problems in the neighborhood that you guys have heard about over the years and a lot of you live through. So the day before, I see a post on 530 Life and a couple other places talking about the cops had towed some lady and left her stranded with a dead phone from Sacramento. Couldn't get home to Sacramento. Dead phone. Couldn't call anybody. Dog. And they took her vehicle. I don't know what the story was. I'd have to ask more. But as I'm sitting there, I had chosen, which I'll show you the proof of this message I sent Chief Sachs. I'd been asked by a local business owner to please not make videos that make Chris look bad. He's got enough problem with Aaron killing his wife and, his new wife getting caught embezzling that money from the church over in Yuba City and all this. He doesn't need it. And I go, well, he's like anybody else. Maybe he should do more hard work and make himself look good. But I took heed to it because I respect this person like a lot of us do. And I wasn't making any videos. So I'll tell you, the other day when I heard about it, my first instinct was to go give that girl a ride, but I'm driving around with expired plates while my Ford's in the shop getting the transmission replaced. And I go, well, I don't want to go down there to Yuba City. I already lucked out with a Yuba City PD cop being nice and a Yuba County Sheriff not towing me. And I don't know, it seems like maybe, I'm pressing my luck, but God, I hope they're not towing local citizens' vehicles, and harassing them with all the hell of the last 3 years and the fact that they're not enforcing the homeless who don't pay into the system, don't work locally, don't live locally, don't pay utilities, don't do any of the stuff we do, And lo and behold, the next morning I get up, and right across the street over here at Verna's old antique shop, I see the homeless roughly right over in this area here where the cone is under that porch. And as soon as I walk out the door, they start clearing out their stuff and moving to the sidewalk, public place. And, I go, God, look at how bad that is. How is it that the 300-pound redneck can talk to these people, ain't got the right to shoot them, ain't got the right to mace them, ain't got a badge, ain't got a squad car to, show presence, any of this stuff? How is it that a 300-pound redneck can come out of his door, them seeing him, and start doing what they're supposed to do, and the cops can't get this? Is ridiculous, right? And these people are some of the ones that like to poop on our porches and all this other disgusting stuff we got to clean up. Syringes, just leave trash, change their clothes, and leave their old, dirty, nasty, stinking clothes on the porch or whatever. So I come back, and they're still packing up their stuff that they've moved to the sidewalks, which I posted pictures of. And, not even 20 minutes later, the cops show up. Now, they hadn't tagged my vehicle, anything. Keep in mind, I go, God, I hope, they're not. So, basically, I look out the window to see what's going on. Homeless cleared out, and I got a cop, some lady, community service cop or whatever, deciding she's going to get my vehicle towed. Tow truck's already there. I've managed tow companies and dispatch. I already know once that tow truck shows up, they're on prevailing wage contract, and that's getting towed because the police department and the tow company split the money on those calls, and once it's in order, there ain't no way to stop it because the contract call to the tow company's already been made and they're already under contract. So man, I go out there, I go, what? You don't tag it? You don't do anything anymore? Nope, we don't have to. Smile. This fucking she-bitch pig was smiling and just couldn't be happier with herself because I think she thought I was going to pay to get it out of Hawk. Because as soon as I said, she's all, you can get it back, you just got to pay the registration and go pick it up. I go, I'm not going to pay you guys $1,000 plus because it's like $400 for them to tow the vehicle. At least 20 years ago, it's probably higher than that now by contract, to tow the vehicle instead of $60 or $100 or whatever it would normally be because it's government contract, government prices, prevailing wage. So when I told him I'm not going to give you guys one fucking red cent to get that car out of Hawk, I've been driving it around, you know, basically because my other car is in the shop. You're not going to get any money out of me for that. And the tow truck driver and her face dropped, but her attitude didn't. And I'm going to tell you right now, when you have me paying good money, especially with today's rent prices and California costs, to live here, and you can't help me clean up the squalor by showing presence and patrolling, and you want to revenue generate off of us citizens, that's where I draw the line. So I tried to talk with them nice. She bitch kept calling back up. She called one of the most crooked captains Marysville PD's ever seen. That's one of the crooks left from the long days ago when they were really, really bad and abrasive. And, you know, these were the ones that strip searched women in the streets and lost us millions and stuff like that. Oh, there's one of the finest now. So, anyway, I figured as many times as they were coming and going through here, you would think that they would run off some of these homeless. But no, they want to harass the citizens of Marysville that are paying into their money and taking, you know, basically care of them with tax dollars instead. Now, this is a little bit ridiculous, folks. I mean, it inconvenienced me, right? I got to walk places. Well, that's all right. I like the idea of moving here because I was already saving money compared to living in the hills with high propane, high gas prices coming and going. So, you know, I should have not had it parked on the street, but whatever. I should have maybe not been driving it, but it was insured. I'm a licensed driver. I figure 2 out of 3 was better than none, especially after the last 3 years our government has put us through the hell that they have, and further back if you want to go from there. So it inconvenienced me, but what it did do was make me think. How many of these times that the cops have done this around here? How many times have they done this? And it was somebody who lost their job and then lost their home, and then they made to be going homeless. How many people has it completely thrown into disarray where they couldn't take care of their kids or whatever? And meanwhile, we got drug dealing, hoeing, pimping going on the corners, but they want to mess around with revenue generating. Well, the IRS just got funded, and you get to carry a gun there for whatever reason. Why don't these revenue men and women go join the IRS and let some cops that actually want to make the community better work here for their salary? So anyway, I was out walking the dog, and I came across a gentleman who lives in Marysville and works in Marysville, and they did the same exact thing to him 2 days, except this time it was on private property. Nobody called him to get it. They just wanted to revenue generate. So I would like you guys to hit me up who are watching this video. If you've had Marysville PD uproot your life by towing your vehicle while they left your home in squalor, surrounded by squalor, pimping, hoeing, drug deals in the open air, and everything else that we know goes on with these vagrants and these criminals out wandering the streets, and they've harassed you and they wrecked your life or any of that, I would like you to reach out to me if you would like to tell your story and do a YouTube video. The gentleman I talked to the other day was in his work clothes, and neither of us thought it was a good idea for him to do it then, but he was willing to do a video. And it's important because I made 3 videos. The cops are out of the parking lot and they're out patrolling, as you see in one post that I had put up. You know, when I used to live right here where this empty lot is 20 years ago, when the cops drove by and we were drinking or we were doing whatever, and maybe we were going to AM/PM across the street down the way there, and we weren't drinking in public or whatever, we would understand their presence means we better walk straighter and be doing what we were supposed to be doing. And I think that that's all I'm asking. I'm not asking the cops to go out and get themselves in trouble or break the law. I'm asking them to show presence and let these people know that they can't be on private property. And until then, maybe leave the revenue generating to the IRS instead of making more homeless and more disparity in the community by screwing around with poor people who are barely getting by and paying taxes into the system, which the cops cash out a nice retirement, whether they live or die, a decent salary, better than most others make around here, doing jobs that are as important, if not more important in some cases. And they don't have the power that they do. So that's why I was so mad. I had some she-bitch with a bad attitude and enjoyed making people's lives harder than it had to be. I've got a crooked captain showing up. The only one that showed emotions was some middle-aged, maybe younger guy who showed up before the captain for backup, since I was out there basically telling these cops, how shit fucking went into fucking. They don't know how to react to that. They don't know how to react to somebody who's not intimidated by their crooked asses, and their guns. Shoot me, motherfuckers. You know what? You're putting me out of a lot of pain with a bunch of nerve damage and shit I got, and you'll make me the martyr I've always been born to be. So I'll tell them how it is, whether it's in a video or real life. But this is ridiculous, folks. And I believe that what happened, based on talking to some people in town, is word was getting out about me cleaning this up. So between me bringing up Sarah Easton's murder by Marysville PD ex-chief Aaron Easton, and probably me making sure these homeless knew to get off of private property and onto public property, probably made them look bad, so they wanted to show me who was boss. Well, we're their boss. We pay their wages, and they've got more to lose than us. Now, I would do their job except for one thing, so I can't even say I wouldn't take their job or be able to do it. I am a kind of person who, if I came across a sex offending thing, I would kill the person. I would shoot them and assassinate them or something like that. That's why I didn't become a cop, because, I have a hard enough time not beating the shit out of people screwing up our community as it is, and I withhold that, sort of anger, and I control it. But if you give me the license to kill and the gun and everything to do it, that's why I didn't become a cop. Now, many of you might not want it. Maybe it's scared, and they do have a shitty job. They get to see shitty stuff every day. But a lot of us that are ministers and volunteers and activists, we get to see that same shit. And we don't get paid. We don't have a gun. So that's why I was so mad. I was trying to be nice, and I think they must have mistaken kindness for weakness, or thought maybe they had more power than they did. I don't know what. But I was mad at myself for not making videos and not doing what I knew was right, trying to make people look good. If they want to look good, they better make themselves look good by doing their job. Otherwise, they should retire or transfer or do something else. And I don't care if it's a cop, a politician, whatever. Change is coming. It's already been here for 8 years, and it keeps accelerating. If you want to be a crooked POS oligarch, get the hell out of here and go somewhere else. We're done with it. You can thank Aaron for shining a light on a national scale and a statewide scale, also for the corruption around here and whatever else the investigators discover while they're up here. Have a good day, folks. God bless. That's what that was about that day.